The New York Knicks are back. OG Anunoby is back, and they defeat the Philadelphia 76ers 106-79. We'll talk about OG and the impact he brought to this basketball team and will continue to bring to this team. Jalen Brunson got back on track. The Knicks looked good, and they once again held a team under 80 points. This is the third game in a row that the New York Knicks have held a team under 80 points. And we are just getting started. My guy Ian Begley of SNY with some injury news. Let's talk about Randle. We'll talk about Robinson. We got injury updates on that. We'll close out with stats and highlights from last night's win over the Philadelphia 76ers. Ian Begley of SNY earlier today, prior to the game, said Julius Randle hasn't been cleared for full contact yet, Tom Thibodeau says. Thibodeau says Randle is doing basically everything else, including controlled contact. When asked about it, Thibodeau said there is no timetable for Randle to be cleared for full contact. So I would say that is, I'm not going to go as far as to say that is a concerning injury update, but maybe it is a little concerning because there's no timetable for his return. It's definitely not positive news for Julius Randle. So Begley said this on March 12th. He said this prior to the Knicks' loss to the Philadelphia 76ers on Sunday. He said Julius Randle hasn't been cleared yet for contact, and there is some concern about why it is taking so long. Now, I would say that is a concerning injury update. The fact that there are people inside the building of the New York Knicks that don't know why it is taking so long for Julius Randle to be cleared for contact is not ideal, if you had to ask me, because he's running out of time. It's March 12th. The playoffs start on April 20th. The play-in starts prior to that. And the New York Knicks' last regular season game is April 14th. There's a month left of the season. He hasn't been cleared for contact, and he has not have a timetable to return. So, not ideal if you have to ask me. They need him healthy. If the New York Knicks want to do the things in the playoffs that they want to do, they need Randle to get healthy. Hopefully they can get it done. No timetable to return. We're a month away from this regular season ending, and it's almost playoff time. I think Randle needs to come back at least by the end of the month so we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in April to get ready and get back in playing shape, because the last thing you want to do is have Julius Randle playing through rust and trying to play his way into shape in the NBA playoffs. Randle is such a rhythm-based player. He needs to have a handful of games in the regular season to get back on track. If you want Randle to get healthy, if you're ready for Randle to be healthy, hit that thumbs up icon. Good vibes only, man. Let's try to get the good vibes rolling. So from kind of a shaky injury update on Julius Randle to what I would say is a positive injury update for from Ian Begley on Mitchell Robinson. Begley said this prior to the game against the Philadelphia 76ers. Mitchell Robinson is making good, steady progress and should be cleared for contact soon, Tom Thibodeau says. Now we're cooking with some grease. My man, Mitchell Robinson, sounds like he could be back in a couple of weeks. I think Robinson will be back prior to April starting, and I think he'll be ready to go down the stretch of the regular season and be ready to rock and roll for the playoffs. We know what Mitchell Robinson brings to this basketball team. In my opinion, the best offensive rebounder in the league. One of the top shot blockers as well. He also just brings a physicality aspect to this team. You go back and you watch the tape of what Mitchell Robinson was able to do in the first round against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think you can make the argument that Mitchell Robinson was the second best player for the New York Knicks in that series. He absolutely dominated Jared Allen. He made Evan Mobley look small. He made them look like it's too bright in here. I'm not ready for that. That's what Mitchell Robinson made Jared Allen and Evan Mobley do. They literally said we weren't ready for the physicality. He just brings a different element to this team that they kind of lack. I don't think you need Robinson to be playing 24, 30 minutes a game in the playoffs. Can you give me 10 in the first half? Can you give me 10 in the second half? And you continue to be that same dominant shot blocker and the best offensive rebounder. Well, this may be a stretch. since Dennis Rodman. Because if he would have stayed healthy, he would have broke the offensive rebound rate for Dennis Rodman if he stayed healthy this season. Just another soldier on the way, potentially, for the New York Knicks. My guy Cody Glock says OG plus Mitchie equals Rikers Island Knicks. They haven't allowed a team to score more than 80 points in 3 games. OG returned for the final one, and Mitch is on the way. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, because if we get any more news, injury updates, rumors, anything about the New York Knicks, we're going to get you guys a video as soon as possible. So subscribe and turn the notifications on so you never miss a thing for the New York Knicks. Coming up next, we're going to break down the big-time win over the Philadelphia 76ers. This team is different with OG Anunoby on the floor. Josh Hart, yeah, he's kind of looking like Draymond Green out there. He looks incredible for this team. He's been one of the best players in the NBA following the All-Star break. Let's talk about him in a second. But first, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Pick more, pick less, play Prize Picks. That's how you get it done. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on their projected stat line. Daily fantasy sports made easy. Get a $100 deposit match with prizepicks.com/CLNS. Pick more, pick less, play Prize Picks. Easy, exciting, fun daily fantasy. I know the NFL's over with, but now's the season to start playing with the action in the NBA heating up, as well as March Madness right around the corner. #1 storyline coming out of the game for the New York Knicks is the impact and just the difference that OG Anunoby makes. You could feel it on the defensive end. And pause, but the New York Knicks they just feel and look like a bigger basketball team out there. There were a couple of rebounds that Anunoby grabbed, and I was like, whoa, was that Precious? It's like, no, that's OG at 6'8" with a 7'5" wingspan coming in at 240. He's a difference maker. He changes the game on defense, and I so often compare him to being a dominant edge rusher in the NFL, because when you have an edge rusher off in the NFL, they could change a game like that. They're game wreckers, and that is what OG Anunoby is on the defensive end. But my favorite part of today's game is he was dialed in shooting the ball, man. He couldn't miss a shot for a while. Doesn't look like the shot has left him at all. Josh freaking Hart, man. Josh freaking Hart. This is the reason. This is the type of play and the player that every single New York Knicks fan, the reason why they fell in love with Josh Hart last season. It's why I bought his jersey. It's why I go to war for this guy. He has been electric. 1 of 6 from 3. Look, it's going to happen some games. But he didn't let a bad shooting game take him out of his game. 19 rebounds, 10 dimes. Thibs took him out before he get the 20th board. Savage move by Thibs. Josh Hart. Keep being Josh Hart. Jalen Brunson, good to see him get back on track and have an efficient ball game. I was a little worried that the knee was hindering him a little bit, but he was good tonight. 20 points, 9 assists, 4 boards, 58% from the deck, 50% from 3. Good to see Captain Clutch, number 11, face of the franchise, the killer, play with that chip on his shoulder while also getting everybody else involved. Good to see Donte DiVincenzo once again connect from downtown. I think he had some bad habits form while Randle and Anunoby were out, because the Knicks were asking him to be a scorer and a score-first guy. And that's not really DiVincenzo's game. He's the ultimate connector piece. And he once again shot 44% from 3. The Knicks need him to be that type of guy if they want to win games in the playoffs. Playoff games can be swung for the New York Knicks if Donte DiVincenzo is able to hit big-time shots. And he did that today. Solid game from iHeart. I thought he gave you grit. I thought he gave you a little toughness. I thought he played all right. Nothing spectacular, I thought, from him. But all it is for iHeart is just continue to stay healthy, continue to get healthy as the games go on, and make sure you're 100% for the NBA playoffs. Shout out to iHeart. I don't want to be negative after you just beat a team by 30, but the Piston boys are really starting to piston. You could take the boys out of Detroit. I'm not sure you could take the Pistons out of the boys. And this is like one of the first times I feel like I have let you guys down, because I was a big fan of the trade for Bogdanovich. I thought he was going to be a difference maker, and there's still time for that to happen. Go in the playoffs and make some big-time shots when your team needs it. That flips the script. But, man, I apologize. I thought it was going to be a better trade. I thought he was going to be a better player. I pride myself about being able to evaluate this team better than anybody else. I think I've done that so far, but I missed on the Boyan trade, and I missed on the Alec Burks trade. It just is what it is. It can change. They still have time to get it done, but my patience are running a little bit thin with the Detroit boys. And with Randle and Robinson coming back, we know Thibs ain't going to play too many players in the playoffs. You wonder how many minutes Bogdanovich and Burks will get when that time gets here. So we got a little taste of a healthy New York Knicks team with Anunoby back. Still 23-30 on the way. Big dogs are on the way. But let's recalibrate and let's assess it. The New York Knicks are the blank best team in the East. The New York Knicks are the blank best team in the East. Give me your answer down in the comment section. And make sure you are following me over on Twitter. You can hit me up at @MarshallGreen_. I'm tweeting about the Knicks all day, every day. I'm trying to get my Knicks fans to give me a follow over there so we can talk more Knicks basketball. So hit me up over there at @MarshallGreen_.